Well, hi, and welcome back to my channel, Also Victoria, where I'm a part-time reseller on Etsy, Poshmark, and eBay. And I'm going to go over the 16 sales I had in the first week of November. So let me go over the figures here. So my gross was $569.51. My fees were $74.73. My cost of goods were $41.15. So my net profit was $454.61. And so of those 16 items, I sold 7 on Etsy for $315. That was in my Oso Victoria Etsy vintage shop. I sold 2 on Etsy in my Cameron D Collectibles shop for a total of $82.16. 2 items on Poshmark for $70, and 5 items on eBay for $102.35. So let me get started and let you know the items I sold. So in my Etsy, also Victoria Vintage shop, I sold this vintage 70s pink cardigan that had these little um, embroidered rosettes down the front. Sold that for $28. I picked that up for $2 at the Illinois thrift shop in Cave Junction. She's only open on a Sunday, and all the profits go to benefit the youth groups in Cave Junction, which is a little town on the way to the coast. And I picked that up in March of this year, listed it in May of this year. So that took about 6 months to sell. And then in my Cameron D collectible shop on Etsy, I sold the Snoopy ski musical figurine from the 1960s. Sold it for $68. It cost me $4, also in Cave Junction, but at the Senior Center thrift store in Cave Junction. Picked that up in June of this year, listed it in July. And then on Etsy in my vintage Oso Victoria shop, I sold this black movie star slip. In fact, this was a bundle. So there was this black movie star slip for $22. And then there's 1940s open weave brown tan mesh shoes for $79. So the slip I picked up for $1 in the senior center in Medford, which is no longer open. They closed the senior center because it was near the park, and near the park there's too many homeless people, meandering about. Not that uh, there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it's not like there's just different types of homeless people. Let me put it that way. There's just different types of homeless people. But the homeless people that were hanging around the senior center, those folks were mostly men, with some women, a few women, but you could tell there was drug use, a lot of drug use among that particular population. And that is totally not the case with homeless people, many homeless people. Totally different situation. So anyway, they closed that senior center thrift store. They closed the whole senior center down. They were hoping to move it somewhere else. Anyway, so that was I was actually back in 2010 that I picked up this slip, and I had listed it in January of 2018. And now the shoes I picked up, they cost me about $1.52 because I bought them in a bulk lot at an estate sale in 2 years ago. And let's see, when did I list those? I listed those August of 2 years ago. So they've been listed for a couple of years. And then also in the same shop, I sold this 1980s girl pink pageant dress. It had more beading on it and bling on it than a woman's evening cocktail dress anyway. Sold it for $72, and I picked it up for $4.49 in Goodwill in Florence. We had gone on vacation, and yeah, we had, oh, this was part of my 2 week vacation thing. So I still went to thrift stores and picked things up. And so I picked it up in August of this year, and I listed it. Well, it took one day for it to sell. Anyway, it took a day for it to sell. It was in their costume department, and that's what I always look for, these pageant dresses and the vintage pageant dresses, and or just the frilly dresses from the 80s for little children, little girls. in the clothing department, but I mostly find them when they put out the costumes. So anyway, it was in the costume. I picked up a good lot of other type costumes I have sold um, when I was in this Goodwill in Florence also. And then on eBay, I sold this Jessica London black faux leather dress. Now, I don't know if this is the one. No, this isn't the one because I didn't write it down. Okay, this, a lady bought it, and then my husband was getting ready to go out, but this was before this one here. My husband was getting ready to go get the shipping out to the post office. I said, wait a minute, I have this other dress sale that just came in. So I got it ready, got it shipped, got it sent out with him. An hour later, she wanted to cancel the sale. And by then I told her it was too late. And she said, well, she didn't want to have to like refuse the sale. I said, no problem, just refuse the sale. When it comes to your door, just refuse it, it'll get sent back to me. And so she did that, but it took a long time, and somehow it got stuck in the post office in Memphis, Tennessee. And she was waiting for a refund, but I said I had to wait for the item to get back to me. And so I think she called the post office and asked where it was. And then once she did that, it got sent on its way, and then I got it delivered and I refunded her. And we had a really nice conversation back and forth. And I really didn't like hanging on to her money, but I really wanted to make sure, even though I saw the tracking that it was coming back to me, I wanted to make sure it was coming back to me in the same shape I sent it to her, I guess. But I think I was about ready to refund her regardless. And then I saw that she had called the post office. I thought, oh, that's so sweet. Okay. Anyway, this dress, this Jessica London black faux leather dress sold. Once I got it back, I relisted it. So it sold for $24.99. Cost me $2 at a yard sale in town here. So a friend of mine, or a friend of my daughter's, came to me and said that his friend was having a yard sale. She was kind of doing like an estate sale for some people. And so I went over there, paid way too much for stuff I gathered because she was charging way too much, but I just felt it's kind of a friend thing. And then the ladies that lived in the house, and the one lady, the stuff it was they were cleaning out, it looked like they were just cleaning out a shed or something. And she was looking at the pieces and say, oh, what are you selling that for? What are you, not that she's selling it, what price is she giving me? And it almost, if I didn't know the guy or the friend that was doing this for these ladies, I probably would have just walked out. um, so anyway, paid too much for a bunch of stuff I got. I think I sold a few items so far. Maybe over time I'll make my money back and maybe make a profit. um, but what ended up happening with the lady that was doing the sale for her, I would imagine she was expecting to get paid a percentage or something for the sale, but the ladies she was doing it for never paid her and just said, oh, well, you could have all the rest of the stuff and that will be your pay. Sad. It's just sad that's the way some people treat other people. Anyway, where was I off of that story? Okay, so that was that dress. Oh, the lady that lived in the house that had this stuff that was had this. She thought it was real leather. It's like, no, it's not real leather. It even says right there, it's not real leather. Anyway, so back to what I sold. On my Etsy and my collectible shop, I sold the souvenir ashtray. It was from some kind of cruises or something. Sold it for $15. I picked it up for $1.79 at the Goodwill here 2 years ago, and I listed it March of this year. And then on eBay, I sold this Vermont store men's nightshirt for $25. Picked it up at a church thrift store for 28 cents. So it was fill a bag, whatever you could stuff in a bag for $5. So this came out to 28 cents because believe me, I stuff those bags as much as I can. They really wanted, they were overwhelmed with clothing. Let's put it that way. They were overwhelmed with clothing because normally they sell their stuff for $2, $3, but they were so overwhelmed with clothing, donated clothing, they really wanted to get rid of this stuff. So I don't mind stuffing the bag as much as I can. So anyway, 28 cents is what I paid for this and sold for 25. So back in August, I picked it up and I just listed it 2 months ago or a month ago. And then on Poshmark, I sold this Jane Ashley horse jacket, and there's quite a few of these online. I sold it for $30. It cost me $2.50. I bought it here in town at the Artist Emporium, one of those antique booths, but they don't just sell antiques. So I picked it up last year and I listed it sometime last year. And also on Poshmark, I sold these Merrill shoes for $40. I did pay up for them. I paid $8.09 at the Goodwill here last 2 years ago, and I listed them last year. And then on Etsy, and is this a bundle sale? Yes, in my vintage. I don't normally do bundle sales in my vintage. Oh, so Victoria. And they don't, there's no discount to bundling or anything other than maybe saving on shipping, because they go once in Etsy you put the weight and the size, that sort of stuff, and so Etsy, when they combine the shipping in a bundle, they just kind of combine it and add it all together. So whatever, I don't know, it works out, I guess. And anyway, so the 1980s R&M Richards two-piece white suit with this fringy stuff on it. I paid $34. No, sold for $34, even though it's all sold in a bundle. This sold for $34, so it cost me $3 at the Humane Society in Wairika. That was down in California, on the I-5. So you have Eureka over on the coast, and you have Wairika, which is about 50, 60 miles south of me. And I picked it up this year, June, and listed it in June. I remember picking up a white rayon pantsuit at that. I like that thrift store. It's a really cool thrift store. Um, Also from them a few years back and selling it. And then I also sold this 1980s Victoria's Secret green blouse for $42, and that cost me $1.99 at Miranda's thrift store in Eureka, the town on the coast. And I picked it up 2 years ago, and I listed it 2 years ago. And so the $1.99, I think she was having a half off sale. So Miranda's Thrift in Eureka was another one of my favorite thrift stores because she has really good sales. Anyway, this bundle is going to Norway. Don't know if it got there yet, because it got shipped out. It was ordered on the 11th, on the 4th of this month. So hopefully it gets there okay. She paid $26 in shipping to get it to Norway. And then on eBay, I sold this Gap houndstooth cap hat for $10.50, and it cost me $2. This is one of the things I picked up at that yard sale, estate sale, where I overpaid for stuff. Anyway, so that was August this year, and I listed it September of this year. And the last thing, I think it's oh, nope, I have a few more things. And then on Etsy, my vintage shop, and I had this listed on Poshmark, eBay, and Etsy. This vintage dragon kimono, got some nice feedback on it. She said it was a really nice quality kimono, which it was. I sold this for $38, and I picked it up for $6.29 at the Goodwill in Florence in August of this year. And I listed it a month ago, and this was in their costume department. Like I said, I don't know, in here or maybe one of the other. Yes, I mentioned earlier. uh, when we were at the Goodwill, I always look through when they put out Halloween stuff. You could also find some pretty decent vintage items then, because for some reason they saved that stuff for Halloween. I don't know. Go figure. And last two items. On eBay, I sold this white capri sport stretch pants, which I'm kind of surprised they even sold, but they did because they were good quality, for $6.50. I don't know how much I paid for them or where I got them or how long I've had them. But the lady sent me feedback. No, actually, I communicated with her. I always communicate with my Etsy sellers and tell them thank you and when their item is shipping. I don't always do that with my eBay or Poshmark sellers, but I happened to do it with this eBay seller, and she communicated back and said, thank you. And she was looking for a pair of white pants because white and black go with everything. That's what she wrote back to me, which is cute. And then the last thing on eBay, I sold this Quaker Factory Christmas shirt jacket for $30. And I got that at the Honey Hole in Prineville. Cost me $1.20. And I picked it up last year and I listed it last year. And so that's the end. That's the total of the 16 sales in the two bundles. And anyway, I hope you enjoy what sold videos. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up or the like or whatever you want to call that. That helps a lot getting these videos pushed out there. And if you like what sold, you subscribe. I do what solds, I do haul videos and adventure videos. Okay, thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.